Hey guys, it's Steve. So today we're going to do a brisket on the new extra large grill dome Kamado. This is going to be my first brisket cook on this thing. I'm really excited about it, so let's get started. Okay, so what I've got here is a 8.7 pound brisket flat that I got from Sam's Club, and this was the largest one they had. We're gonna have 8 people over tonight, including myself, so this should do the trick. Great looking fat cap on this, and then you can just see when you pick these things up and can see how well they bend and flex like this. You can just tell this is gonna be a super tender brisket. So we're gonna go ahead and get this cut out of the packaging. Okay, I've got this taken out of the packaging, and one of the things I wanted to show you real quick, hopefully you can see this, is you can see the grain going this way, just like this. It's really, really easy to see on briskets. And so most of you know this, but after you cook this thing, when you go to slice and serve this, you're gonna be cutting across the grain, just like this. So for those of you that have been following my channel for quite a while, you've seen me cook briskets before. I've cooked them a number of different ways. I've injected them a couple times. I don't really do that anymore, especially with cooking them on the Kamado like we're gonna do today, because they come out so tender. But this guy has a decent fat cap on it, and what I do is some of this hard fat over here on this edge, and then some over here, I trim some of this hard fat off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll be right back. Alright, so I went ahead and moved some of these larger chunks on this side of the hard fat and a little bit over here on this side. This fat through here and over here on this side, there's not much of it, maybe like an 1/8 of an inch. And you've all heard the debate of whether you should cook fat cap up or down. To be honest, I'm not sold on either way, and I alternate almost every single time I cook, just to kind of experiment. There's people that say when you've got a vertical cooker like a WSM or a Kamado style cooker, that cooking fat cap down kind of protects the tender brisket from the heat source coming from the bottom, helps it to keep from drying out as much. But then people say if you cook it fat cap up, as the fat renders and breaks down, it basically just bastes the meat during the cook, and again kind of helps to keep it tender. I'm not 100% sold on either way. What we're going to do today is fat cap up. When I cook fat cap up, I trim more off like I did today, and then all I do is I just take my knife and I score the rest of the fat like this, because we're going to sprinkle rub on both sides, and I want the rub to be able to penetrate down into the meat. You don't need to go so far down that you're cutting into the meat. And then I just do a little crisscross pattern just like this, so about 1 inch, ½ inch to 1 inch squares, just like that. When I cook fat cap down, I leave the entire fat cap on there, and then I trim after the cook. So just about like that. That's all you're really looking for. So if you can see that little crisscross pattern on there now. So we take these gloves off. What I'm going to be using today for my rub is the Oak Ridge Barbecue Santa Maria steak seasoning. I have used this on a tri-tip before. I've got a review up on my blog. This is, other than maybe one of the Simply Marvelous rubs, this is hands down my favorite rub for beef. It's got garlic, ground pepper, sea salt, raw cane sugar, chilies, which is paprika and chipotle, parsley, onion, and some other spices, and you can see all the color in it, and the smell of this rub is just amazing. With brisket, you don't want to go too crazy with your rub because you want the natural flavor of the beef to come out. And so what I've been doing lately is I just take a little olive oil. You can certainly use mustard, and I've used mustard plenty of times. but I have been experimenting with olive oil as a binder, and it works really well too. So we'll just get both sides here, just like that. Alright. And then we're going to go ahead and open this, and I've got this hand that hasn't touched the meat, so I'm going to just kind of do a light coat like this. Just come in here with my left hand and kind of rub this down, sprinkle a little bit more. Gosh, this rub smells unbelievably good. And if you can see here, it's just got this awesome kind of like yellow greenish tint because of all the herbs that are in it. And it's just got all this just flavor that's just coming straight off of it, and it goes so well with beef. So I'll put a link in the description of these guys. Check it out. It's definitely worth at least ordering a smaller bag just to try these guys out. And then I am going to give it a nice little coating on the back. Just like this. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm just going to push this down in good, rub it in good. And there you go, a gorgeous looking 8.2 pound brisket flat. And we're going to be cooking this on the new extra large grill dome ceramic Kamado. So we'll pick back up outside. Alright, so here we are outside with the extra large grill dome Kamado. This guy has a lot more space than my large model. You can get a lot more lump in here. What I'm cooking with today is I've got some nice peach wood. Been cooking a lot with peach wood. I love it. And we're just going to go ahead and start this little lighter cube. Alright, so that's going. And then we're going to drop our little indirect cooking rack called the double decker, and then we're going to be using our pizza stone here for an indirect stone. And then I pick up these little cheapo aluminum pizza pan thingies. They're just throwaways. I sit this on top because this just helps catch a bunch of the stuff coming off of the meat, and just so your pizza stone doesn't get totally thrashed. It'll cook off anyways when you flip it over next time you cook, but still, I like to do this. So we're just going to put that down just like that. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and get our top grate on. And then we're just going to throw our temperature probe over here and let this guy heat up, and we'll be back. Alright, we've got the dome heated up to about 250. I'm going to be cooking between like 225, 250 for this cook, and I am going to foil right around the 160 mark. So again, we're going fat cap down on this guy, or I'm sorry, up. Just going to put it right there. And then I'm just going to take my meat probe and just slide it in just like that. So we're going to go ahead and get this lid shut, and we'll pick back up later. Alright, it has been right at 3 hours, and the internal temp is reading out at 160. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is transfer it to some foil, and we're going to put some beef broth in there. Before I do that, let's go ahead and open the lid and take a look. Man, that looks so good. See, a nice bark is formed, and you can kind of see that same hue that was on that rub. You see a little bit of yellow and green. And again, those are just all the herbs that are in there. So let's go ahead and get this thing foiled. Alright, so here we go. And take this, and we're gonna flip it over. I want the fat side down now, And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about 3/4 of a cup of beef broth. And I don't really like to use anything else because, again, with a brisket, you really just want the flavor of the beef to come through. So that's all you need is just some beef broth, just like that. And I use 2 layers of foil. And then we're just going to go ahead and get it wrapped up and throw it back on the Kamado. Alright guys, we're right at the 6-hour mark. And I don't know if you can see this, but the DigiQ is reading out at 198. So this thing is done. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and just pull this and throw it in a cooler and let it rest for an hour or so. And then we'll pick back up in the kitchen and take a look when it's time to eat. Alright, here we go. So I just pulled this out of the foil. It sat in the foil for about an hour and a half. I took the leftover juices and we're going to use that for a sauce. So we're just going to go ahead and cut into this. Do a couple slices like this, and let me go ahead and let you take a look. So there we go. So we got a nice little smoke ring going on. Look how tender that is. It just rips straight apart. I'm going to go ahead and try this out. Man, that tastes super good. So that's it. So 6 hours, we have an 8.2 pound brisket. And yeah, so appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you again soon.